the mid-30s on a good day.
John Brennan, let's switch subjects to John Brennan's amazing op-ed in the USA Today, blasting critics of the decision to Mirandize Abdul-Muttalib as assisting al-Qaeda in its goals. I'd like to play for you a little Hillary Clinton from a couple of years ago. Here she is.
I am sick and tired of people who say that if you debate and you disagree with this administration, somehow you're not patriotic, and we should stand up and say, we are Americans and we have a right to debate and disagree with any administration.
We have a right to debate and disagree with any administration, Jim. I'm not going to scream, but...
Boy, Hugh, if Hillary were in public life today, what do you think she would say?
I know.
If you were in some prominent position, it's a shame no one can reach her. I understand she entered the Witness Protection Program a few months ago, and as a result, no one's seen her in the last couple of months.
Well, now this is
I have tomorrow's Morning Jolt, my morning newsletter. You'll get a longer version of this point, but Hugh, remember when we thought Hillary was going to be the hawk in this administration?
Right.
And remember how Brennan was the guy who we kind of liked because he had some connections to the Bush team?
Yep.
The Obama administration's national security team is starting to turn into the Iran-Iraq war. There's really nobody to root for.
Yep.
There are no good guys. There's just one worse person after another.
But again, I come back to the idea that they think we're stupid. They think that by citing Richard Reed, which occurred 4 months after 9/11, before there was Guantanamo Bay, before there were military tribunals, before there was any alternative means to interrogate, that somehow renders our objection to Mirandizing Abdul-Muttalib, who had not entered U.S. Customs, whose information we did not need to protect from Miranda for reasons that prosecutors have talked about. We could have convicted him anyway, regardless of the fruit of the poison tree, if he had to go into a criminal civil trial, a criminal civilian trial at some point. I mean, Jim, do you think they think this is working?
I think that every decision the administration makes in this arena is a gamble. And if nothing blows up, if there are no terror attacks, then they look like they're doing okay. But if there's a near miss like there was in Detroit on Christmas Day, or if something terrible happens, God forbid, they look really stupid. And I think that the Detroit case was as close as you could get to an actual disaster. Without having the disaster, and that for most Americans that sunk in immediately, that we just got extraordinarily lucky, and nobody in government should be patting themselves on the back. Of course, the first reaction of the administration is to rush out to the cameras and insist the system works, the system works.
Well, this is where we come back to the idea that no matter what they say or do, you can't rest on your terrorism record until after you're out of office. Sophocles, no man knows how good the day has been until the evening comes. They're playing with fire on this stuff, Jim Garrity. The American people don't trust them on this stuff.
But it's kind of an awkward metaphor. But until they get burned, I don't know if they'll learn not to do it, Hugh.
Oh, that's possible.
They should. But mature grown-ups know to do this. But this is not an administration populated by mature grown-ups.
Now, in terms of Rahm Emanuel and his objectionable comments, has he survived this storm?
I think so. I think it's interesting that I was just mentioning about grown-ups. By comparison, as scary as it seems, Rahm Emanuel is the elder statesman of this crowd because he's actually been in the White House before. He was in the Clinton administration. He's worked on Capitol Hill. You compare him to David Axelrod or Valerie Jarrett or any of these folks, these are all the old Chicago crew who know how to run campaigns and know how to do communication stuff. They don't actually know how to go. He's the only one who knows anything within the zip code of how to govern. And so as a result, I think he's kind of barring somebody else stepping in and I don't know who the modern David Gergen is. Usually, traditionally for the past 40 decades, you've said bring in Gergen. Rahm's irreplaceable at this point.
I will be right back with Garrity. I'm going to keep him talking about Pennsylvania's 12th, where John Murtha's death leaves a vacancy of incredible significance. I'll be right back, America. It's the Hugh Hewitt Show. Welcome back.